Once, Lucy Novak would have called herself a romantic. She believed in grand gestures, vows that meant something, and futures built on trust. But then came Jonathan's voice, cold, distant, shattering everything with 5 quiet words, "I can't do this anymore." 3 years together, a ring on her finger, wedding invitations ready to send. And he ended it while she stood in the grocery store debating pasta sauces. 2 months later, she saw their engagement announcement in the local paper. Jonathan and the coworker he'd sworn was just a friend. Now Lucy understood love for what it truly was, a trick of the brain, a chemical trap, pleasure wrapped in pain, abandonment dressed as connection. It was better left alone. What Lucy didn't know, couldn't possibly imagine as she packed for an obligatory European getaway with her persistent best friend, was how fragile that cynicism really was. Somewhere across the ocean, hidden beneath ancient mountains, someone was waiting for her. Someone who had waited lifetimes, his devotion forged in blood and magic. In the ruins of a forgotten castle, time itself had bent for the return of a love strong enough to survive death. The last tour group of the day shuffled through Blackest Castle's gates, already scanning for the nearest restaurant. Few spared a glance at the looming spires overhead, casting long shadows like fingers stretching from another era. What about him? Sophia nudged Lucy, pointing to a tourist with messy brown hair. Lucy ignored her, stamping an old lady's exit ticket. "Seriously, go talk to him," Sophia pressed. "It's not like we even need to stamp these tickets anyway. No one sneaks back in. This place is a dump." Lucy shot her a look. To tourists, the castle might seem abandoned and decrepit, but to her, it felt comforting. "Comforting?" Sophia echoed, eyeing a crumbling wall skeptically. "Really?" "It has an aura," Lucy said, gazing up at the weathered stone. "Don't you feel it?" Sophia stared for a moment before pouting. "Okay, fine. No need to make up nonsense. You didn't like him, not your type." "Stop it," Lucy muttered, stamping another ticket. "What about him, then?" Sophia pointed to a sour-looking man. "Just because he's male and not ancient?" Lucy sighed. Sophia batted her lashes dramatically. "The best way to get over someone, my darling, is to get on to someone else." Lucy rolled her eyes. It had been 3 months since the breakup. She and Jonathan were supposed to get married. "I'm fine, Soph," Lucy said, nudging her. "Really, you were right. This trip to Europe has been good for me." She meant it, mostly. The first few weeks had been a blur of forced smiles, while her heart felt hollowed out, Jonathan's betrayal replaying endlessly in her mind. But something shifted when they reached Blackest. The ancient stones, the silence, the weight of history. It all resonated with her in ways she couldn't explain. It soothed something in her. For the first time since Jonathan's words, "I don't think we want the same things anymore," shattered her world. Lucy feels peaceful, almost as if she's exactly where she's meant to be. "It'll be better when we've made enough money to get away from this job, this castle, this town," Sophia says. "I think it's creepy." Before Lucy can respond, a soft sob pulls her attention. Near the archway, a little girl with pigtails cries while her mother kneels beside her. Lucy approaches. "Is everything okay?" The woman, large and distinctly German-accented, explains. "Mina lost her doll somewhere. I told her it was her fault for not being careful." Lucy kneels. "Where did you last have it?" "It's beyond the scary door with the bars, the one that goes down to where the monsters live." Lucy blinks. The mother shakes her head. She means the restricted area in the East Wing. She stands, taking her daughter's hand. "We tried opening it. It was locked for a reason. Come on, Mina." "I'll miss the bus." Lucy watches them go, her heart twisting. She remembers losing her own doll as a child, the nights it had been her only comfort. "Wait," she calls. "I'll check if I can retrieve it." "Don't even think about it," Sophia warns as Lucy grabs the ring of castle keys. "It'll only take a few minutes. Mr. Dragomir was very clear when he hired us." Sophia crosses her arms. Stay in the designated areas. That was basically his only rule. Lucy glances at the caretaker's cottage. Gruff as he was, he'd hired them on the spot after their money was stolen in Bucharest and given them a cabin to stay in. "He doesn't have to know," she says, grabbing a flashlight. "I'll be quick. Just keep watch." "What if the castle crumples on you?" Sophia calls after her. Lucy rolls her eyes. The eastern wing is colder, the air dense with shadow. Dust swirls in her flashlight beam as she reaches the wrought iron gate. A rusted sign warns visitors to keep out. The lock resists, then clicks open with a groan. The spiral staircase beyond disappears into black. She hesitates. Mr. Dragomir had warned them about structural issues. "Just a quick look," she whispers, stepping down. The staircase winds deeper than expected. The air turns colder, metallic, and quiet. Too quiet. The castle above feels distant now. Finally, she reaches a small chamber. Her flashlight lands on the doll almost immediately, propped against the wall, waiting. Lucy exhales in relief, bending to pick it up. But then her light catches something. A painting half hidden behind a tattered tapestry. She moves closer, curiosity flaring. Dust chokes the air as she pulls the fabric aside. The painting shows a massive black wolf beside a woman in a medieval gown, but her face is gone, ripped from the canvas, jagged and intentional. Lucy stares, her heart stuttering. The wolf's eyes, icy blue against dark fur, seem to follow her. Her throat tightens. A tear slips down her cheek. "What is happening to me?" she whispers, wiping it away. She imagines Sophia's voice. "It's just an old painting, Lucy. You're spooked, that's all." But deep inside, Lucy knows there's something behind this painting. She doesn't know how she knows, she just does. "This is ridiculous," she mutters. "I should go back up." But her body doesn't move. Her hand lifts on its own, fingers brushing the frame. The carved wood feels strangely warm, alive. She presses along the edges, searching. Her finger finds a rosette in the bottom right corner. Click. The painting swings open. A hidden passage gapes behind it. Lucy stares, breath caught. She was right. Oh my God, she was right. Sophia checks her watch for the third time in 10 minutes. The sky grows darker outside the ticket booth's small window, and still no sign of Lucy. "Why are you still here?" Sophia startles at Mr. Dragomir's voice, who's looking at her across the ticket booth. She literally had not seen him coming. "The castle closes in 15 minutes, he reminds her. "I'm waiting for Lucy," Sophia nods toward the German tourists. "She went to find a little girl's doll." Mr. Dragomir's expression shifts from annoyance to alarm. "Find her," he orders. "Now tell her the castle is closing." Sophia nods, eager to escape his penetrating stare. She hurries toward the east wing, irritation mixing with concern. Lucy and her bleeding heart, always putting strangers' needs above her own safety. The corridor leading to the restricted area feels colder than the rest of the castle. Sophia shivers, wrapping her arms around herself. The wrought iron gate stands partially open, a clear violation of the rules they'd promised to follow. "Lucy," she calls, peering down the spiral staircase. No answer. Hesitating at the top of the stairs, Sophia debates whether to descend into the darkness. "Lucy," she tries again, louder this time. "Mr. Dragomir says the castle's closing. We need to go." Still nothing. "Damn it, Luce," she mutters, taking the first step down. The staircase seems to absorb sound, her footsteps eerily muffled despite the stone construction. After descending a dozen steps, an overwhelming sense of wrongness washes over her. The air feels strange, heavy with something she can't name. Sophia retreats, suddenly certain that going further would be a terrible mistake. She'll get Mr. Dragomir instead. But as she rounds the corner back into the main hallway, she nearly collides with Lucy, who's sitting on a stone bench against the wall, head tipped back against the cold stone, eyes closed. "Lucy," Sophia rushes to her side, panic rising. "Are you okay? Did you faint?" Lucy's eyes flutter open slowly. For a moment, they seem unfocused, almost glowing in the dim light. Then recognition dawns, and she smiles, a dreamy, distant smile Sophia has never seen before. "Soph," she murmurs, voice thick as if waking from a deep sleep. "I had the most wonderful dream." "Dream?" Sophia helps her sit upright, checking her pupils. "Did you hit your head?" Sophia frowns, noticing something new glinting at Lucy's throat, a silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon, cradling what appears to be a moonstone. "Where did you get that necklace?" she asks. Lucy's hand rises to touch the pendant, her expression softening. "What do you mean? I've always had it." "No, you haven't," Sophia says, studying her friend's face as unease grows in her chest. Before Lucy can respond, Mr. Dragomir's voice booms down the corridor. "Girls, time to leave now." He strides toward them, keys jangling ominously in his hand. His gaze falls first to the open gate, then to Lucy, and finally to the pendant at her throat. All color drains from his weathered face. "Where did you get that?" he demands, his voice barely above a whisper. Lucy's hand closes protectively around the pendant. "Give it to me," Mr. Dragomir says, extending a trembling hand. "That doesn't belong to you." "Yes, it does," Lucy replies calmly, though there's a strange certainty to her words that sends shivers down Sophia's spine. "Let's go," Sophia urges, tugging Lucy's arm, eager to escape the caretaker's intensity. "We found the doll," she adds, pointing to the toy clutched in Lucy's hand. Mr. Dragomir's eyes remain fixed on the pendant. They return the toy to the waiting child, who clutches it with the pure joy only children can summon for inanimate objects. The mother thanks them profusely as they walk toward the gate. "Seriously, where did you get that necklace?" Sophia whispers as they cross the courtyard. Lucy's fingers trace the curve of the pendant. "I don't know. It really feels as though I've always had it." Behind them, the castle looms dark against the twilight sky, its ancient stones guarding secrets Sophia isn't sure she wants to understand. Lucy wakes with a dry mouth and a pounding head, the price of sharing an extra bottle of wine with Sophia. The digital clock on her nightstand reads 3:17 a.m. She slides her glasses on and glances at Sophia's bed, where her friend sleeps peacefully, one arm flung dramatically overhead. Thirsty, she slips out of bed and pads to the cabin's tiny kitchen for water. Through the small kitchen window, moonlight spills across the clearing, separating their cabin from the castle. The ancient fortress stands silhouetted against the star-filled sky, its ragged towers reaching upward like grasping fingers. Something in the tree line catches her eye. Lucy leans closer to the glass. A shape darker than the surrounding shadows moves into a patch of moonlight, a large black wolf with eyes that seem to glow in the darkness. Lucy's breath catches. The wolf stares directly at her, and moonlight glints off something in its mouth, something silver. Her hand flies to her throat. Her pendant is gone. Her eyes dart to the cabin door, slightly ajar, swinging gently in the night breeze. The wolf must have gotten in somehow, taken her necklace while she slept. Without thinking, Lucy rushes outside, still in her pajama shorts and t-shirt. She calls out, "Hey, stop, that's mine." The wolf's ears flatten against its head. It holds her gaze for a moment longer before turning and loping toward the forest path. Lucy runs after it, ignoring the stones cutting into her bare feet. "Give it back," she pleads, tears springing to her eyes. A grief so profound it makes no sense overwhelms her. The pendant isn't just a trinket, it feels as vital as her own heartbeat. She can't lose it. The forest path is dappled with silver moonlight. The wolf stays just ahead, always visible. Branches scratch her bare arms, but Lucy barely notices. All she can think about is the necklace, how right it had felt against her skin, how unbearable it would be to lose it. The path opens onto the castle grounds. The massive iron gates, usually locked, stand open tonight as if inviting her in. The wolf slips through the gates and disappears into the shadows of the courtyard. "Please," Lucy cries, following it inside. Her voice echoes off the ancient stones. She spins around, trying to catch sight of the wolf again. The courtyard looks different at night, the stones almost polished in the darkness. A movement in the shadows catches her eye. Expecting the wolf, Lucy turns instead to see a man stepping into the moonlight. Her breath catches in her throat. He is without question the most beautiful person she has ever seen. Sharp, perfect features of flawless symmetry, an easy grace that makes his every move seem like a dance. The light caresses him, casting glints in his dark hair, and he stares at her, not just looking, but devouring. The air between them feels thinner, heavy with something electric and unseen. His gaze burns into hers, drinking her in as if parched. Her chest tightens, her breath falters. "Say something, you idiot," she tells herself. Hi," she stumbles out. How could her throat not feel tight in front of him? This man looks like he stepped from a forgotten myth. "Have you seen a wolf?" Lucy asks, trying to ground herself in logic. Then he locks eyes with her, and the world fades. "It's you," the man whispers. His voice is low, rich, thick with emotion, trembling at the edges. "You've returned to me." Lucy instinctively glances behind her. Sure, he must be speaking to someone else, but she can't move. Her limbs won't obey. He takes a step toward her, utterly silent, yet she feels the shift in the air, like gravity bending around him. He's close now, so close she can see the rise and fall of his chest. Her head spins, her body leaning unconsciously toward his. The space between them crackles. Do we know each other?" she finally breathes. His hand lifts slowly, carefully, as if afraid she'll vanish if he moves too fast. He reaches for her cheek, but pauses just before touching. His nostrils flare. Every line of his body tenses, and the near touch becomes a sharp recoil. "You're bleeding," he says. Lucy follows his gaze to the small cuts on her feet. "Just scratches." "It's nothing," she murmurs, confused by his reaction, as if he's trying not to breathe. His jaw tightens, throat working with a hard swallow. "You shouldn't be here," he says, each word strained, forced through gritted teeth. "It's not safe to wander alone in the dark." He steps back, but his eyes never leave hers. Starved, pained, desperate, yet she feels no fear, only an unexplainable pull drawing her closer. She takes a step toward him when a growl slices through the quiet. The wolf emerges from the shadows, teeth bared, a silver pendant glinting between them. Its eyes gleam eerily, fixed on Lucy. Without hesitation, the man moves in front of her like a shield. "Is this yours?" he asks, his voice calmer now, but laced with tension, an undercurrent of restrained violence. "Yes," Lucy breathes. "It's why I came here. I wanted it back." Come forward, the man commands, his tone sharpening into something cold yet smooth, like steel wrapped in velvet. The wolf snarls. I said, come forward, he repeats, the command resonating through the air, vibrating deep in Lucy's chest. Slowly, agonizingly, the wolf obeys. That's it, the man murmurs, his voice shifting into something hypnotic, almost seductive. Closer now. He kneels, addressing the creature directly. Give her back what's hers. The wolf's startlingly human eyes dart between them, panic flashing within. He's scared, Lucy whispers. He should be, the man replies, low and certain. Without looking at her, he adds, kneel beside me, hold out your hand. She obeys without thought, compelled by his words. Kneeling beside him, the stone beneath her is cold, but his presence burns like fire. His fingers grip her wrist, strong and steady, his breath brushing her neck. The world narrows to his voice. Open your palm, he instructs. She does, and the wolf steps forward, releasing the pendant into her hand before fleeing. The moment it touches her skin, her breath hitches. Thank you, she whispers, her voice breaking as the man straightens. You're trembling, he observes, gentler now. I'm not cold, she replies, her blood alive with heat. You should leave now, he says, though his eyes betray him, roaming over her hungrily, reverently. You have what you came for. She rises slowly, confused. I don't understand, she whispers. How did you make the wolf obey you? He doesn't answer, so she reaches for him, her fingers grazing his sleeve. Don't, he gasps, the sound torn from him, half growl, half moan. Not yet, not like this. Like what? Lucy asks. He finally looks at her, and what she sees stops her heart. His eyes are wild now. Come back tomorrow, he says, voice frayed at the edges. His gaze drops to her neck, lingers, then drags back up to lock on hers. Please, he whispers. Why? She takes another step, close enough to feel his heat, the way he trembles. Because you deserve better than what I can give you tonight, he replies, voice ruined and ragged. I'm not safe tonight. The words are low and broken, barely more than breath. She should run, but she can't. She's anchored to him now. He steps forward, his hand lifting. He almost touches her face, but curls a single strand of her hair behind her ear instead. You have no idea what you are to me, he says. And if you stay, I might forget who I am. Come back tomorrow, meet me here. I'll be better prepared to see you. Lucy turns, but her feet hesitate. I don't even know your name, she protests. The man smiles, strained but genuine. Names rarely reveal the true nature of a person, he murmurs. Why don't you name me instead? It's such a strange thing to say, but nothing about this feels ordinary. Edric, she says, I think it fits you. Then I shall be your Edric, he says, and this time his hand finds her face. His thumb brushes her lower lip in a gesture so tender it steals the air from her lungs. And I shall call you Adora. Adora, she echoes. Why? Because you are to be adored. His voice wraps around the word like a vow, and you have been. She opens her mouth to speak, but he steps back, hardening again. Tomorrow night, he says, a final command. Now go while I still have the strength to let you. She can feel his eyes on her back as she walks away. When she looks over her shoulder one last time, Edric stands in the moonlight, his face a study in beautiful agony. Sophia watches as Lucy twirls in front of their cabin's cracked mirror. The yellow sundress, borrowed from Sophia's side of the closet, flares around Lucy's knees as she spins. "What do you think?" Lucy asks, tucking a strand of red hair behind her ear. Sophia sets her coffee mug down. "That you've been abducted by aliens?" Lucy laughs, actually laughs, a sound Sophia hasn't heard since the breakup with Jonathan 3 months ago. "I just thought I'd try something different today," Lucy says, adjusting the silver pendant at her throat. "It's such a beautiful morning." Sophia glances at the gloomy skies outside. "Right, beautiful." Lucy laughs again, bright and bubbly, and it doesn't stop there. As they walk toward the castle, she practically skips beside Sophia, occasionally twirling in the yellow dress. Sophia watches, increasingly unsettled. "So, I thought we could check out that new bar in town tonight, the one near the train station," Sophia says, attempting conversation. "They do karaoke on Wednesdays, and there's this really cute bartender who—" She breaks off, noticing Lucy's distant expression. "You haven't heard a word I've said, have you?" Lucy blinks at her and smiles. Sophia's eyes narrow. "Have you spoken to Jonathan lately?" she asks, tensing at the thought. "What? No," Lucy protests, eyes wide and sincere. Sophie breathes a sigh of relief. "Actually," Lucy says with a blush, "I might have met someone." Sophia stops walking. "What? Where? How? Last night?" Lucy had me beaming. "At the castle." "The castle?" Sophia frowns. "You went back there alone?" Lucy nods, like this is a perfectly normal thing to do. "To retrieve my necklace," she explains. "A big wolf had stolen it." Sophia blinks. "What?" she asks, incredulous. "I know, crazy, right?" Lucy chuckles. "Anyway, I went after it, and this is how I met Edric." Lucy breathes the name with nothing short of reverence. Her eyes actually flutter closed for a moment, as if savoring the taste of it. "Edric," Sophia repeats flatly. "And who exactly is this Edric?" "The man I met last night," Lucy replies, as if that explains anything at all. "He was so beautiful, Soph. Not like normal person beautiful, like something else entirely." Lucy clasps her hands together under her chin. "He made the wolf give me back my necklace," she explains. "Like he had power over it or something." Sophia sighs. "Girl, I think you had too much wine last night." Lucy blinks at her friend. "This wasn't a dream. There was a man there. I saw him. He touched me." "Oh, so it was that kind of dream," Sophia chuckles. "It's not at all. Lucy breaks off, frowning. "Wait a minute. Why are the gates closed?" They approach the heavy iron gates, normally open well before their 9 o'clock arrival. Mr. Dragonmere is meticulous about his morning routine, always having the coffee maker running by the time they arrive. "Maybe he overslept?" Sophia suggests. Lucy's hand shoots out, gripping Sophia's arm. "What's that?" Beyond the gates, a shape lies motionless on the gravel path. A human shape. They move forward, slowly, carefully. The morning sun casts long shadows through the bars, striping the ground in bands of light and dark. The human shape is a body that lies crumpled behind the gates, limbs twisted at unnatural angles. Through the iron bars, Sophia sees familiar gray hair matted with blood. "Oh my God," she gasps. "Oh my God, Mr. Dragomir!" No response. He lies sprawled on his back, face up on the gravel, skin waxy and pale in the morning light. Sophia stumbles backward. "Why is he lying there naked?" she laments. "I think he's dead," Lucy murmurs, watching his mouth gaped in a silent scream. The policeman crouches beside Mr. Dragomir's body, notebook in hand. "Time of death appears to be sometime last night," he mutters in heavily accented English. Lucy can barely focus on his words. Her thoughts keep drifting to Edric. wondering if he's safe, if he knows what happened. The pendant feels warm against her skin, almost pulsing with each anxious beat of her heart. After a frantic hour of trying to explain their situation to emergency services, they'd finally managed to get 2 uniformed officers on scene, accessing the gates with the spare key from their cabin. "The tourists will arrive soon," Lucy says, glancing toward the road. "Shouldn't we cover him?" She gestures at Mr. Dragomir's completely naked form, avoiding looking directly at him. Why was he wandering the castle grounds without clothes? "The neck appears broken," the officer announces, ignoring her. He exchanges a confused glance with his partner, silently acknowledging the odd situation. "Oh my God," Sophia whispers, clutching her chest. "Do you think someone killed him and took his clothes?" The younger officer's expression softens as he places a comforting hand on Sophia's shoulder. "Whoever did this is probably long gone, miss." Lucy shrugs off her jacket, gently draping it over Mr. Dragomir's lap. As she leans closer, she notices the unnatural angle of his neck, the dark bruising spreading across his throat. Her mind flashes to Edric, wondering if he knows what happened, if he's safe in the castle. "What do you think you're doing?" the first officer snaps. "You're contaminating the crime scene." "He deserves some dignity," she replies quietly. "And families with children will be arriving soon." The officer nods. "Right, we should probably seal the castle." A motorcycle's roar drowns out his words. Lucy watches as a sleek black bike tears through the gates, executing a sharp turn before stopping. Its rider swings off with casual grace, removing leather gloves 1 finger at a time. "Hot!" Sophia whispers, nudging Lucy's ribs. Lucy barely hears her. There's something about the stranger's movements, a fluid, predatory quality that reminds her of Edric. Similar power, though lacking his elegance. Both officers straighten as the man removes his helmet. He shakes out light brown hair, revealing sharp features that trigger an odd sense of familiarity in Lucy. His intense, watchful eyes scan the scene before landing on Mr. Dragomir's body. "All right," he announces, dropping his helmet on the seat. "What happened here?" The officers exchange glances. "We just arrived," one explains. "The young ladies found him this morning." Lucy studies the newcomer as he approaches the body. Something flashes in his eyes, recognition, grief, anger, but it vanishes so quickly she might have imagined it. What captivates her are his jawline and eyes, features that echo Edric's, though lacking his otherworldly perfection. "Damn," he mutters, crouching beside the body. He carefully tilts Mr. Dragomir's head, examining his neck with meticulous attention. His shoulders relax slightly, though his expression remains grim. His gaze sweeps the surrounding area quickly, as if searching for something specific. Discarded clothing, perhaps? Finding nothing, he adjusts Lucy's jacket to better cover the old man's nakedness. "At least he didn't suffer," he murmurs softly, almost inaudibly. Standing abruptly, he declares, "We need to close the castle today." "But the tours," Lucy begins, panic rising in her chest. "If the castle closes, how will she see Edric tonight?" "Are cancelled," he finishes, turning to face her directly. "And you are Lucy." "I work here," she swallows. "For Mr. Dragomir. Worked," he corrects, his gaze uncomfortably penetrating. Past tense. "Please," Lucy hears herself say, "we need this job. I need to be here. I need to come back tonight." "You need to find safer employment," he replies. Something in his tone suggests he knows more than he's saying. The thought of being barred from the castle and Edric makes Lucy's chest tighten. "No one else knows the tour routes like we do," she argues. "You'd lose a day's revenue at least." Sophia shoots her a confused look. The man, Mr. Blackest, studies her face for a long moment. "You seem unusually attached to this place for someone who's been here, a few weeks?" Lucy feels heat rise to her cheeks. The pendant seems to burn against her skin. "We need the money," she says, the lie bitter on her tongue. Money is the last thing on her mind. "Fine," he sighs. "I need to make arrangements for Pete anyway. You can work tomorrow." "Shouldn't we come help with anything tonight?" Lucy asks, trying to sound casual. His eyes narrow, suspicion flaring. "No, stay away from the castle after dark, both of you. Understood?" Something about his command reminds her of Edric's voice when he ordered the wolf forward, an authority that expects to be obeyed. But where Edric's command had thrilled her, this man's only irritates. "I'm Grant," he announces, extending his hand to Sophia. "My family owns this castle." "Owns?" Lucy blurts. "But Mr. Dragomir was the caretaker." Grant finishes. "My distant cousin. He watched over things while I was away." "I'm so sorry for your loss," Sophia offers, her voice gentler than Lucy has heard in days. Grant acknowledges this with a curt nod before turning his attention back to the officers. He quickly arranges for the body's removal and for the castle to be closed for the day. "You think it was an accident?" the younger officer asks too loudly. "Why would he be up there naked?" Grant's jaw tightens. "Looks like he fell from the East Tower. Pete was eccentric, had some strange habits, especially in his later years." He shrugs, too casual for someone discussing a dead relative. The old man had his demons. The officers exchange skeptical glances, but don't press further. Lucy opens her mouth to object. Mr. Dragomir had always seemed perfectly lucid and proper. What eccentric habits would explain wandering naked through a castle at night? "I'll see you both tomorrow," Grant says, cutting off her thoughts. "9 sharp, and remember, stay away from here tonight." As they turn to leave, movement from an upper window catches Lucy's eye. For a second, she swears she sees Edric there watching. "Lucy, you can't seriously be considering going back there tonight," Sophia says, pacing the small cabin. "A man is dead, Lucy." Lucy brushes her hair, watching the silver pendant catch the light in the mirror. Each stroke calms her, steadying her for what's to come. "Grant said it was an accident," she murmurs. Sophia stops mid-step. "And you believe him? He didn't even seem upset his cousin was dead." Lucy sets the brush down. "What are you suggesting?" "I don't know," Sophia says, throwing her hands up. "But something feels wrong. Definitely not the time to go meet a suspicious stranger at night." "Edric had nothing to do with this," Lucy insists. "How would you know?" Sophia challenges, eyebrows rising. "For all you know, your Edric could be the murderer." "It was an accident," Lucy snaps. "Edric wouldn't—" "Lucy, listen to yourself." Sophia kneels in front of her, taking her hands. "You don't even know this man." "Maybe I'm tired of being safe, predictable Lucy, who never takes risks." Lucy pulls her hands free. "This isn't about risks," Sophia says, standing now, frustration sharp in her voice. "This is about self-preservation. This isn't you, Lucy." Silence stretches thick between them. "I'm tired," Lucy says, turning away. "I'm going to bed." Sophia sighs. "Fine, but promise me you won't go to the castle tonight." Lucy slips under the covers, not answering. She feels Sophia's gaze linger. "Lucy, I heard you," she says, facing the wall. Hours pass. Lucy lies still, listening as Sophia's breathing deepens into sleep. At 1:17 a.m., she slips out of bed. Dressing in silence, every step on the floorboard seems deafening in the dark. At the door, she pauses, glancing back at Sophia. The forest feels alive tonight, eerie yet enchanted. Lucy moves easily, her senses sharper than usual, every sound crisp, every scent vivid. The castle gates stand open. As she enters the courtyard, she spots it, a soft golden glow from within. A path has been lit by dozens of candles, their flames flickering in the breeze. Between them, a trail of dark red rose petals winds deeper into the castle. Her heart races as she follows the trail, each step stealing her breath. The corridors are unfamiliar, more ancient and untouched than anything on the tour route. At last, she reaches a doorway she's never seen. The heavy wooden door is slightly ajar, warm light spilling through the gap. Lucy pushes it open. Unreal blue eyes lock onto hers the moment she steps inside. "You came," Edric breathes. The reverence in his voice pierces her chest. "I'm sorry I'm late," Lucy says, her voice low. "My roommate, she wouldn't let me leave, said it was too dangerous." Edric's lips lift in a slow, quiet smile. "I, for one, am grateful someone watches over my Adora when I cannot." My Adora. Her knees nearly give out. The way he says it, it feels like a vow, a claim. "I might have been too harsh with her," Lucy admits softly. "A man did die here last night." At once, Edric's expression darkens. The smile fades like a shadow swallowed by flame. He turns away, shoulders tense. "Yes, he did." The firelight flickers across his broad back as he stares into it, and something about the tension in him calls to her, pulling her forward. "Do you know what happened to Mr. Dragomir?" she asks softly. For a moment he remains still, the silence stretching taut and vibrating between them. "Edric," she says, stepping closer, needing to be near him. "It's okay, you can tell me." He turns, and the raw grief etched into his features takes her breath away. "It was my fault," he says. Her heart stutters. "Did you hurt him?" "No." His voice is rough, immediate. In an instant, he closes the distance between them, his hands grasping hers, burning against her skin. "Never. I would never harm an innocent, but he died because of me all the same." His nearness overwhelms her. Heat floods her limbs, making her dizzy. "I don't understand," she whispers. Edric gently leads her to a velvet-covered seat near the fire, never releasing her hands. When they sit, he turns to face her, impossibly close, still holding her as if he might break apart without the contact. His thumb moves over her wrist in slow, hypnotic strokes that make her skin tingle. Her breath comes shallower. "He chose death over allowing my return," Edric explains. "He saw what was happening, the pendant finding its way to you, our connection strengthening, and he panicked." "But why?" she asks. His gaze lifts to hers, filled with devastating emotions, longing, guilt, love. "Because of what I am," he says. "Because he and all his kind see me as pure evil." "You're not evil," she breathes. "I know you're not." His bitter smile barely lifts his lips. "You see only what I've allowed you to see." "Then show me more," she whispers, leaning in. His lips are soft at first, uncertain. But as her fingers thread into his hair, Edric pulls her close, his hands cupping her face, his mouth moving with a need that threatens to unravel them both. The kiss deepens, something shifts, grows hotter, hungrier. His hands slide down her back, pressing her against him. She feels the tension in his muscles. Her hands explore, shoulders, arms, the skin just beneath his open collar. He exhales her name like a prayer between kisses. His lips leave hers only to trail down her throat, brushing across her pulse. He kisses the hollow of her neck, his breath hot, and she hears herself make a sound, half whisper, half plea. Without a word, he sweeps her into his arms. She gasps softly as he lifts her effortlessly, cradling her against his chest. Her legs wrap instinctively around his waist, and she feels the press of his palm against the bare skin of her thigh. He carries her to the nearest wall, pressing her gently against it as his mouth finds hers again. The heat between them is unbearable, thrilling. His hand slides beneath the hem of her shirt, resting against her ribs, the pads of his fingers barely moving, yet it feels like fire. She's dizzy, starved. But just when it feels like she might come apart in his arms, Edric pulls back with a sharp, broken breath. "We shouldn't," he says, voice wrecked. "It's too soon." "No," she clutches at him, aching. "Please." She kisses the edge of his jaw, the column of his throat. Her lips brush the hollow beneath his ear, and his breath catches, breaking as if he's being unmade. When her lips find the base of his throat, Edric groans, a deep primal sound. And suddenly the dam bursts. He kisses her like he's starved for her. His hands roam, spine, hips, the curve of her waist. His touch reverent, desperate. His mouth trails heat down her throat. Her head falls back, breath catching, fingers tangled in his hair. Then a sting, something sharp against her neck. She gasps, startled but not afraid. Edric pulls back instantly, breath ragged, and she sees it. Fangs, long, lethal, gleaming in the candlelight. She stares, heart pounding. She should be afraid, but she isn't. Her hand lifts to touch him, this strange, dangerous, beautiful creature. He catches her wrist, gentle but firm. "You need to leave," he says, voice guttural, raw around the shape of his fangs. "Now?" "No," she breathes. The thought of walking away from him is worse than anything. "I can't. I don't want to go. I don't understand. All I can think about is you." Edric's expression shatters with longing. His hand rises to her face again, brushing her lip with the pad of his thumb. "Sleep," he whispers. Darkness swells behind her eyes, and as the world fades, all she sees is him. The smell of coffee pulls Lucy from a dreamless sleep. Sunlight spills through the cabin's worn curtains. She blinks, disoriented, to find herself in her own bed. The last thing she remembers is Edric's face, those glowing red eyes, and then nothing. Sophia appears in the doorway, balancing 2 mugs and offering a tentative smile. "Morning, sleepyhead," she says. "Peace offering." Lucy sits up slowly, accepting a mug with a murmured, "Thank you." Her neck tingles where Edric's lips had been. She touches the spot, but her skin feels normal. "Thanks for listening to me last night," Sophia adds, settling on the edge of the bed. "I know I came on strong, but I was really worried." Guilt pricks Lucy's chest. Sophia thinks she stayed home, which means either she returned on her own or something else brought her back. "Are you okay?" "Just had a weird dream," Lucy says, sipping her coffee and avoiding Sophia's eyes. The word dream echoes uneasily in her mind. Had it really been a dream? The candles, the restored room, Edric's confession, those fangs glinting in the firelight, all feel too vivid to dismiss. "We should get going," Sophia says, standing. Motorcycle Hottie seemed pretty strict about the 9 o'clock start time. Lucy nods, but her mind lingers on the castle. If last night was real, what is Edric? And if it wasn't, why does every cell in her body ache to go back? The morning passes in a blur. Lucy recites tour facts, stamps tickets, forces smiles, but her gaze keeps drifting to the castle's upper windows, searching for dark hair or pale skin. More than once, she thinks she sees movement, only to realize it's the curtain stirring in the breeze. By noon, a headache pulses behind her eyes. The pendant feels heavy, its warmth increasing. During lunch, she excuses herself, muttering about needing the restroom, but instead heads for the east wing. The halls are silent, with dust swirling in shafts of sunlight. Everything looks different in daylight. Unable to retrace her steps, she presses on. "Edric," she calls. "Edric, are you here?" Only her voice answers, echoing through the empty corridors. She opens door after door, finding only sheet-draped furniture and forgotten rooms. No fire, no candles, no Edric. At the end of the corridor where she's sure his chamber had been, the door creaks open to reveal nothing but dust and cobwebs. "I know you're real," she whispers, clutching the pendant. "I know last night happened." Lucy jumps as Sophia appears in the doorway, frowning. "What are you doing in here? This section's off limits to tourists." Her eyes narrow. "Were you looking for him, your mystery man?" Heat floods Lucy's cheeks. For a moment, she considers telling the truth, but knows Sophia would think she's crazy, or worse, believe her and make them leave. "I was just exploring," Lucy says. "I've never seen most of the castle, even though I work here." Sophia studies her. "You promised you wouldn't go looking for him." "I'm not," Lucy lies. "I just got curious." "Curiosity killed the cat," Sophia mutters, but her voice softens. "Come on, lunch break's almost over." The rest of the day drags by. Lucy's headache worsens, and by closing time, her whole body aches. Even so, she knows she won't sleep, not with the pendant burning at her throat and Edric's name burning in her mind. That night, she waits until Sophia's breathing deepens, then slips from the cabin. The forest seems to part for her, moonlight guiding her way. The pendant pulses hotter with every step. The castle gates are open as before, but the courtyard is empty. No firelight, no Edric. She hesitates, a chill running down her spine. "Edric," she calls, her voice swallowed by silence. Moving deeper into the castle, the pendant guides her down unfamiliar halls. With each step, her limbs feel heavier, yet something inside her burns brighter, drawing her onward. "Edric, please," she calls. Room after room reveals nothing but dust and echoes. Her steps quicken, her calls grow louder. Still nothing. Hours pass. She loses track of time and direction. Her legs shake, her head swims, but she can't stop. Something deeper than need drives her, something urgent and primal, more than desire. "Please," she whispers, her throat raw. "I know you're here. I can feel you." And she can. His presence lingers in the walls, in the air she breathes. His scent, pine, snow, winter, ghosts past her, gone before she can chase it. Once, she hears her name whispered, but it fades before she can be sure. A strange weakness creeps through her. Her limbs feel boneless, her vision blurs. "What's happening to me?" she murmurs, bracing herself against the wall. Outside, dawn brushes the sky with pale light. She has been searching all night. Lucy stumbles back through the woods. As she reaches the tree line, she pauses to look back at the castle silhouetted against the lightning-lit sky. A howl shatters the silence, long, low, and heartbreakingly familiar. Back at the cabin, Lucy collapses into bed, exhaustion pressing down on her. The pendant pulses faintly against her chest, steady as a second heartbeat. Suddenly, she is somewhere else, the castle, but not as she knows it. Gone are the crumbling walls and dust. Gleaming corridors stretch out before her, lit by hundreds of candles in ornate silver holders. Vibrant tapestries of wolves beneath full moons line the walls. She looks down. She wears a gown of deep emerald silk, the fabric whispering against marble floors. Her hands seem paler, more delicate. She doesn't question how she knows where to go. Her feet move with purpose through the grand hall and into a vast chamber filled with elegantly dressed people. They turn at her entrance. "Luna," they murmur. "Your Highness." Her heart pounds. She doesn't recognize their faces, yet they feel familiar, like characters from a story she once knew. A woman with silver-streaked hair approaches and bows. Luna, he has returned. The Alpha King comes victorious. Before Lucy can speak, a horn sounds. The massive double doors open. Silence falls. A wolf enters, enormous, black as midnight, its blue eyes glowing across the room. Blood mats its shoulder, but it moves with regal grace. Others follow, but Lucy sees only him, Edric. The crowd parts as the great wolf approaches. Some bow, some kneel. Lucy remains standing, drawn forward as if by an invisible force. "Alpha," they whisper, "the king returns." The wolf halts before her, eyes locked with hers. She should be afraid, but instead she drops to her knees and wraps her arms around his neck, pressing her face into his fur. "You've come back to me," she whispers. The words feel ancient, familiar. The scene shifts. She is in a bedchamber now. A fire crackles, moonlight streaming through tall windows. The wolf stands before her, but then it begins to change. Bones shift, fur recedes. Edric emerges, gloriously human. Fresh scars cross his skin, the shoulder wound still seeping. He doesn't seem to notice. He crosses the room in 3 strides. "Adora," he breathes, pulling her into his arms. His kiss is fierce and desperate, like a man returned from war. "Lucy," she responds in kind, fingers tangling in his hair, body arching into his. "I feared for you," she whispers. "Every day you were gone, I felt our bond stretch thin." Edric lifts her, carrying her to the fur-covered bed. "Nothing could keep me from returning to you." His hands roam her body, urgent, reverent, memorizing. She cups his face. "Promise me this is the end. No more wars. Our pack is strong. We're safe now." A shadow darkens his gaze. "Not until I have your tormentor's head." He kisses the silver crescent scar on her neck. "Edric, please," she gasps, the sound turning into a moan as his mouth moves lower. "Aldrich is a rogue. He can't take me from you now." Clothes fall away, skin meeting skin. The words continue between kisses and caresses. "He enslaved thousands," Edric growls. "He tried to steal what's mine, my fated mate." His grip tightens on her hips. "I can't rest while he lives." Tears well in her eyes. "And I can't rest when you leave to fight. What if you don't come back? I can't live without you." He stills, his expression softening. He wipes a tear from her cheek. "I know where he hides. One last battle, I swear it." "No," she clutches at him, dread rising. "I have a terrible feeling. Please don't go." Their bodies move together, passion and desperation intertwined. Each kiss, each breath, a plea, a promise. "I fear you won't return," she whispers, tears now falling freely. He cradles her face, eyes burning. "Listen to me, Adora. Not even death could keep me from you. I will always return. I will always find you." Her sobs break against his lips as he seals the vow with a kiss. "I will return to you," he whispers again and again, the words becoming a chant, a prayer. "I will always find you." Lucy wakes with a gasp, tears streaming down her face, Edric's promise still echoing in her ears. "Lucy?" Sophia's concerned face appears above her, hair disheveled from sleep. "Hey, what's wrong? You're crying." Lucy presses a hand to her mouth, trying to muffle the sobs that rack her body. "Was it a nightmare?" Sophia asks softly. I don't know," Lucy manages. "It felt so real." Want to talk about it? Lucy almost laughs. How could she possibly explain herself as some kind of queen? Edric as an actual wolf that turned into a man? I'm fine, Lucy says, forcing a smile she doesn't feel. Sophia doesn't look convinced, but doesn't press further. After she returns to her own bed, Lucy lies awake, staring at the ceiling. Wolves don't become men. People don't live for centuries. There is no such thing as fated mates or supernatural bonds. And yet, the grief feels so real. The sorrow isn't like anything she's experienced before. Not when her father left. Not even when Jonathan betrayed her. This is older, deeper, as if it's been buried in her bones for centuries. If it was just a dream, why does part of her know with absolute, unshakable conviction that Edric had ridden off to battle and never returned? 4 days have passed since Lucy first dreamed of Edric as the Wolf King. 4 nights of returning to the castle, searching empty corridors, and finding nothing but dust and shadows. "You look terrible," Sophia says, not unkindly. "Maybe you should take the day off." Lucy barely recognizes her reflection. Dark circles shadow her eyes, and her skin has taken on a waxy pallor that no amount of makeup seems to fix. "I'm fine," she lies, reaching for her toothbrush. Her hand trembles, a constant tremor that began yesterday and refuses to subside. "You're not fine," Sophia insists. "You're barely eating. You toss and turn all night." Lucy doesn't argue because she can't. The headaches come in waves now, sometimes so intense that her vision blurs. Food tastes like ash in her mouth. And the dreams. Every night she returns to that other castle, that other life. Edric as the Wolf King, herself as Adora. Their love an ancient, powerful force. Each dream feels more real than the last, revealing fragments of a life she both recognizes and doesn't. Edric riding out to battle with his wolf pack at his heels. Edric placing the silver pendant around her neck, promising it would protect her in his absence. "I'm just not sleeping well," Lucy says, which is at least partly true. Sophia studies her face. "Is it the dreams? You cry in your sleep, you know. Call out for him." Heat rushes to Lucy's cheeks. "I don't remember my dreams," she lies again, unable to meet Sophia's eyes. By the time their shift at the castle ends, Lucy can barely stand. The effort of maintaining a normal appearance for the tourists has drained what little energy she had. "That's it," Sophia declares. "You're going to the doctor tomorrow. This isn't normal, Lucy." Lucy nods, not having the strength to argue. Nothing about her life feels normal anymore. That night, Lucy doesn't even pretend she's not going to the castle. She waits for Sophia to fall asleep, then drags herself from bed. Every movement requiring conscious effort. The walk through the forest that once seemed magical now feels interminable. The castle gates stand open as always. Lucy enters the courtyard, her heart pounding with a mixture of hope and desperation. "Edric," she calls, her voice small in the vast emptiness. "Please, I need to see you." Nothing answers but the whisper of wind through stone corridors. Lucy wanders deeper into the castle, each step more difficult than the last. She slumps against a wall, sliding down until she sits on the cold stone floor. "I don't understand," she whispers, tears of frustration welling in her eyes. "Was it really all in my head? You shouldn't have come back." Lucy's head snaps up. Edric stands a few feet away as if he materialized from the shadows themselves. Despite her exhaustion, Lucy takes an unsteady step toward him. "I've been looking for you for days," she says. "I know." His voice carries a weight of regret. "I've been gathering strength." Lucy's breath catches as he reaches for her, one cool hand lifting to cup her cheek. All the doubt, all the questions that plagued her throughout the day melt under his touch. For the first time in days, the pounding in her head subsides. "You should fear me," he murmurs. "I don't. You should run from me. I can't." The truth of it aches in her chest. "I've tried." Edric's thumb traces her lower lip. "It isn't safe for you here." "I'm safe with you," Lucy insists, leaning into his touch. "No." His voice breaks on the word. "You are in the most danger when you're with me. I am not what you think." She places her hand over his, holding it against her cheek. "Tell me everything," she urges. Edric closes his eyes briefly, as if gathering strength. When they open again, they shimmer with unshed tears. "I am a creature born of darkness," he says softly, "something ancient and forbidden. I've been imprisoned in this castle for centuries, neither truly dead nor truly alive, waiting." "Waiting for what?" Lucy asks, though deep down she already knows. "For you," Edric replies, his gaze piercing into hers. "For centuries, Lucy, I have waited for you." I don't understand." "You are Adora," he says, his voice breaking. "My Adora, return to me." The name reverberates through Lucy like the toll of a bell. Sorrow swells within her, deep and ancient, though its source eludes her. "I know you, don't I? From before?" "Yes." Edric presses his forehead to hers. "You do." A tear slides down Lucy's cheek. "I'm dreaming about you, about us, but they're not just dreams, are they?" "No," Edric confirms, his expression softening. Lucy shakes her head, wincing as pain shoots through her skull. "In my dreams, you're some kind of king. We live in this castle, but it's beautiful, full of people who bow to you." "To us," Edric corrects, moving closer. "You are my Luna, my queen, my mate." The word sends a shiver through Lucy's body. "Is that why I can feel when you're in danger, even from miles away in my dreams? Because of our bond?" Edric nods. "The mating bond. It's rare, even among my kind, a connection of souls that transcends death itself." "But that's impossible," Lucy whispers. "Is it?" Edric counters. "Is it more impossible than the way you feel when I'm near? The way your blood sings for mine?" Lucy closes her eyes, leaning into his touch. "How is this possible?" "The soul remembers what the mind forgets," Edric says, "and yours has been searching for mine for centuries. You are my true mate, and because my soul remains tethered to this body, yours has returned so we may find each other again." Lucy closes her eyes, overwhelmed by emotions she cannot name: grief, longing, homecoming. "I've waited for you," Edric says. "For centuries, trapped between life and death, unable to truly live, unable to truly die. Now it is your turn to wait." Lucy starts to protest, but Edric silences her with a gentle gesture. "Not long," he soothes, cupping her face in his hands. "A couple days at most, until I'm strong enough." "Strong enough for what?" "To claim you." Edric pulls back slightly, his expression hardening with resolve. "I swear to you, my Adora, we will be together, truly together. But I need more time. I do not want to harm you." "You wouldn't," Lucy insists. "I would." He closes his eyes, pain etched across his features. "I need blood, Adora. I'm not truly alive. Until my body finds enough of it, I cannot trust myself with you." Before Lucy can ask more, a scream pierces the night, distant but unmistakable. "Sophia!" Lucy gasps, terror coursing through her as she turns toward the sound. Edric grabs her arm. "Lucy, wait!" But Lucy pulls free, already running toward the entrance hall. The corridors seem to shift around her, the castle's layout rearranging itself in her panic. Bursting into the entrance hall, she finds Sophia frozen in the doorway, her face a mask of horror. "Sophia, what's wrong? Are you hurt?" But Sophia doesn't respond or even look at Lucy. Her gaze remains fixed on the floor, now covered with dead rats. Dozens, perhaps hundreds of them. "What the hell is this?" Sophia whispers, her voice cracking with fear. Lucy turns, hoping to see Edric and demand an explanation, but the shadows where he stood are empty. Sophia can't stop seeing the rats when she closes her eyes. She sits at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of cold coffee. Sleep had been impossible after the castle and the sight of the rats. Each time she drifted off, their glassy eyes haunted her. The clock reads 6:27 a.m., and outside, the forest remains dark, though dawn threatens. In the next room, Lucy's breathing is so faint that Sophia checked twice during the night to make sure she was still alive. "What the hell is happening here?" Sophia whispers to the empty kitchen. Last night, after discovering the rats, Lucy had been disturbingly quiet, pale as death, barely able to walk without support. Sophia pulls the cabin's ancient phone toward her. She has to call someone. This isn't just strange anymore. It's dangerous. Could it be some kind of disease? What if the rats carried something contagious? What if Lucy's deteriorating health is connected? She dials the number Grant had scribbled on a castle brochure. A gruff, sleep-ruffled voice answers. "Blackest, it's Sophia from the castle tours. I need to report something unusual. It's about the castle. Last night we found something." Her voice shakes. "Dead rats in the entrance hall. Hundreds of them." The silence stretches so long that Sophia wonders if the line has disconnected. "Did they have bite marks?" Grant interrupts, his tone sharp. I don't know. I didn't examine them," Sophia stammers. "Should we be worried about disease? Should the castle be closed for cleaning?" "Stay there," Grant orders. "Don't go to the castle today." "Okay, but shouldn't you lock it up or something? My roommate's been obsessed with that place lately." "She keeps going there at night." "Tell her she can't." "I've tried. She doesn't listen." Sophia lowers her voice. "She has these midnight rendezvous with some guy named Edric. At first, I thought she was dreaming it up." Grant's voice drops to a dangerous whisper. "My roommate? The name? What name did you say?" "Edric." Sophia's stomach tightens at Grant's reaction. "Listen to me very carefully." Grant's voice becomes deadly serious. "Do you have a car? Can you get your roommate and run right now?" A cold dread seeps into Sophia's veins. "No, we don't have a car. We usually walk to the main road and take the bus into town." "God damn it!" Grant's curse is followed by the sound of something breaking in the background. "Listen to me. Do not, under any circumstances, leave that cabin. Lock everything. Don't let anyone in except me." "Why?" "What's happening?" Sophia's heart hammers against her ribs. "I'll be there in 30 minutes, maybe less." "You're scaring me," Sophia whispers. "Just tell me what's going on." "No time." Grant's voice is tight with urgency. "Remember, do not go outside. Do not go to the castle. Do not let anyone in but me." The line goes dead. Lucy is dreaming again. Not fragmented memories. This feels present now. She's in the castle's royal chamber. Its tapestried walls and vaulted ceilings are achingly familiar, but the beauty is drowned out by agony. Clutching her chest, she doubles over on the massive bed as an icy emptiness spreads through her. "Luna, please," her lady-in-waiting pleads. "You must calm yourself. He's gone." Luciadora gasps, each sob ripping through her. "I can't feel him anymore." The pain is unbearable. Where the bond once pulsed, there's only a void. The Alpha King is strong, the woman soothes, smoothing Adora's hair. The greatest warrior our pack has ever known. He will return to you. Adora shakes her head. You don't understand our bond. It's cold, lifeless. Tears stream down her face. My mate is gone. Fear flickers across the woman's face before she masks it. I'll fetch something to help you sleep, Luna. Alone, Adora barely notices her leave. The silence that remains is worse. No heartbeat, no mental tether, just loss. She rises, moving toward the balcony as if underwater. Cool air brushes her face. The castle looms on the cliff edge, the valley below dark and vast. Somewhere in that forest, Edric's body lies still and cold. How does she go on? How do you live when half your soul is gone? Wind tugs at her nightdress, her hair. The rocks below jut from the mist like teeth. One step is all it would take. Lucy wakes with a sharp gasp, heart racing, the phantom sensation of falling still clutching at her. Sunlight pours through the window. It's late morning. She's overslept badly. Shit, she mutters, sitting up. The grief from the dream lingers like bruises beneath the skin. Her hand flies to the pendant. It's cold, unnaturally so. She needs to tell Sophia everything about Edric, the dreams, that he promised they'd be together tonight. Then she hears voices from beyond the door. Sophia's tense, and another deeper one she recognizes. Grant, why is he here? Lucy pushes herself out of bed, her legs trembling as she grabs the doorframe for support. The conversation in the room halts immediately. Sophia turns to her, eyes red with relief. Lucy, thank God, I couldn't wake you up. Leaning against the frame, Lucy takes in Sophia's worried expression and Grant's rigid stance. What's going on? Pack your things, Grant says abruptly. You're both leaving now. Lucy blinks. Excuse me? Sophia rushes over, gripping her hands. Please, just do what he says. Her voice drops. You wouldn't wake up, no matter what I did. I'm fine, Lucy insists, though she knows it's a lie. Grant steps forward. You're in danger, both of you. Lucy studies him, his sharp jawline, his intense gaze. In the daylight, the resemblance is unmistakable. You're like him, aren't you? She asks. You can shift, too. Grant's expression hardens. I am nothing like him. Shift? Sophia echoes, confused. What are you talking about? Lucy holds Grant's stare. Edric isn't dangerous, not to me. He's been waiting for me. We're meant to be together. He's an abomination, Grant snaps, a creature that should have died centuries ago. What is happening? Sophia demands. Lucy steadies her voice. Edric is special. He protected me. He loves me. A tyrant who butchered humans and shifters for power, Grant growls. Is that what he told you? He's manipulating you, feeding on your blood to regain strength. My blood? Lucy touches her throat. He's never drunk from me. That's why you're so weak, Sophia interjects. Grant explained. Edric's a vampire. He's been feeding off you during your meetings. No, Lucy insists. He's been pushing me away because he doesn't want to hurt me. He's been feeding on the rats. The rats? Sophia recoils. Oh my God, you knew about that? Not until recently. You know nothing, Grant cuts in, stepping closer. You're in danger, Lucy. If Edric regains his full strength, we all will be. He gestures toward her. You're already fading. The fatigue, the weakness, he's draining you. The room tilts. Lucy stumbles, catching the wall to stay upright. Grant's voice lowers. See, he's killing you. No, she whispers. Edric loves me. He's trying to help me. Help you? Grant scoffs. You can barely stand. He wants us to be together, Lucy says, her voice thick. We need to leave, Grant tells Sophia before turning back to Lucy, before he comes for her. Sophia hesitates, torn. Lucy, please. Grant said Edric killed Mr. Dromere, Sophia blurts. That's not true, Lucy counters. Mr. Dromere fell. After seeing Edric, Grant adds, after realizing what he was. The world spins harder. Lucy slides down the wall, her legs giving out. Her limbs feel impossibly heavy. I'm not going anywhere, she breathes. Sophia drops beside her, panic etched into her face. Lucy, Lucy, stay with me. But Lucy can't answer. The cold seeps into her bones, her breath shallow. Her vision narrows to a tunnel, and everything fades. The last thing she sees is Grant kneeling, grim-faced. Then darkness. Lucy drifts through the void, neither awake nor truly asleep, pulled back into memory. She stands once more in the great hall, the castle in its full glory. Torches glint off polished armor and jeweled gowns as nobles and pack members celebrate their Alpha King's imminent victory. Edric stands beside her, his hand possessively at the small of her back while he speaks with his commanders. His scent, winter air mingled with something untamed, wraps around her like a physical embrace. But something tugs at the edges of her awareness, a presence both familiar and changed. She turns, scanning the crowded hall, until she spots him standing half-hidden in shadow near the far archway. Even from this distance, she knows those eyes will be green, cat-like in their intensity. Without thinking, she moves, slipping through the crowd with practiced grace. Adrian, she calls as he begins to leave. Adrian, wait. Reaching him, she grasps his arm. I thought you were dead. When he turns, the words die in her throat. It's Adrian, the same fine features, the same copper hair, but somehow fundamentally altered. His eyes glow with an unnatural light, and something dark and heavy surrounds him like a second skin, invisible yet unmistakably present. Where have you been? She asks, quieter now. I haven't seen you in years. She studies his face, unnaturally impassive, devoid of the warmth and mischief she remembers. What happened to you? She whispers. Adrian blinks slowly. Edric didn't tell you? Not a question, more an observation layered with something that makes her blood run cold. The way he says it tells her something terrible has occurred. Did you and Edric quarrel? She asks, struggling to understand. You were so close before. Adrian says nothing, his gaze shifting past her shoulder. Adora. Edric's voice cuts through the moment, tight with controlled fury as he steps beside her, positioning himself between her and Adrian. Go back to the others. Lucy stares at him, shocked. Edric has never spoken to her with such coldness, such command. His scent has changed, too, sharp with something unfamiliar. Fear. What are you doing here? Edric snarls at Adrian, his tone laced with warning, clear and lethal. Adrian tilts his head, expression eerily blank. Are you threatening me? Lucy grabs Edric's arm, feeling the tension coiled in his muscles, ready to spring. Something in her touch reaches him. He deflates slightly, though his eyes never leave Adrian's face. Just go, Edric murmurs, quieter now. Adrian's lips curve in what might pass for a smile on another face. Then, impossibly, he dissolves as if made of shadow rather than flesh. Lucy stares at the empty space where he stood, heart pounding. Around them, the celebration continues, oblivious to the confrontation. Edric barks orders at nearby guards. Double the patrols, check the perimeter, be on high alert. "What is happening?" she demands, grabbing his sleeve. "Edric, tell me." He doesn't answer, scanning the crowd with predatory intensity. "Are you truly so afraid of Adrian?" she asks, bewildered. "He's your dearest friend. You wouldn't be where you are today without him." Edric tenses, a muscle jumping in his jaw. "Exactly," he says, the word dripping with dark significance. Realization dawns slowly. "You fear him," she whispers. Edric finally meets her gaze, and the naked vulnerability there takes her breath away. "Of course I do. He doesn't just practice magic now. He made a pact with a demon. He's a dark magician with powers beyond imagining." Lucy shakes her head in disbelief. "This doesn't sound like Adrian at all. But why would he do such a thing?" she asks. Edric's expression crumples, guilt and shame warring across his features. "Because I made him do it," he whispers. The world tilts beneath her feet. Suddenly, she sees everything differently. How Edric had been a mere slave fighting for his freedom when she'd been taken by Ulrich, the previous Alpha King. How rapidly he'd risen afterward, commanding armies, conquering lands, defeating Ulrich, and claiming her. The fairy tale tarnishes before her eyes, revealing something darker beneath. She reaches up, taking Edric's face between her palms, forcing him to look at her. "What did you do?" she whispers, dread pooling in her stomach. "Edric, what did you do?" The dream shatters like glass, and Lucy falls back into darkness. The car's engine roars as Grant pushes it beyond its limits, tires spitting gravel with every turn. Sophia sits rigid in the passenger seat, one hand gripping the door handle, the other pressed against the dashboard. In the rearview mirror, Lucy's unconscious form lies sprawled across the back seat, her skin ashen, the silver pendant gleaming like a curse against her chest. "Where are we going?" Sophia demands, heart pounding in her throat. The cabin has disappeared behind them minutes ago, swallowed by the dense forest. Grant's knuckles whiten on the steering wheel. "Somewhere safe, somewhere he can't find us." "What does Edric even want?" Sophia's voice cracks. "I need answers now." A muscle twitches in Grant's jaw as he takes a sharp turn, the car fishtailing before straightening. "Edric was a king," he begins, voice low and tense. "Centuries ago, a shifter who could turn into a wolf." What?" Sophia gasps. "Look at your friend," Grant cuts in. "Look at what's happening to her. Do you have a better explanation?" Sophia twists to look at Lucy. Her breathing is shallow, her lips tinged blue. "Keep talking," she whispers. "Edric was mortally wounded in battle," Grant continues, eyes darting between the road and the rearview mirror. "Desperate to stay alive, he turned to dark magic, became a vampire." Lightning flashes overhead, briefly illuminating his profile. Hard, angular, resolute. "When Edric transformed," Grant explains, "he became more violent and dangerous than ever before. His pack turned against him, trapping him in the castle and binding his spirit to his corpse." Something in Grant's tone makes Sophia uneasy. "How do you know all this?" she asks. Grant takes a sharp turn too quickly, causing Sophia to slam against the door. "I'm his descendant," he replies grimly. "My family has guarded his tomb for generations, ensuring he never escapes." Sophia stares at him. "You're saying it's your job to babysit a centuries-old vampire? To stop a monster from rising again?" "And I failed," Grant snaps. A moan from the back seat grabs their attention. Lucy stirs, mumbling Edric's name before falling silent. "What's wrong with her?" Sophia asks, fear tightening her throat. "He's feeding on her," Grant says, "using her blood to regain strength. That's why she's so weak. He's draining her life force." "But Lucy said he never." "Lucy's been manipulated," Grant interrupts, seduced to make her compliant. Another question forms in Sophia's mind, but she swallows it as Grant abruptly veers off the road onto a narrow dirt path. Tree branches scrape the windows like desperate fingers. Are you, Sophia hesitates, are you like him, a shifter? Grant meets her gaze briefly. In the dim light, his eyes seem to glow. Yes, he says simply. I command a pack sworn to stop Edric's return at any cost. The car breaks through the trees into a clearing where a sturdy, remote cabin stands. Grant kills the engine. We're here. Rain begins to fall as he carries Lucy inside, her body limp in his arms. Sophia follows, the weight of the situation pressing down on her. The cabin is sparsely furnished, a stone fireplace, a few chairs, a wooden table. Grant lays Lucy on a narrow cot in the corner. My pack is on its way, he says, checking the windows. If Edric comes after us, we'll be ready. If not, we'll go to him. Take him out while he's still weak. Take him out, Sophia repeats, eyes widening. You mean kill him? It's him or us, Grant replies flatly. A sudden shift in the air makes them freeze. Outside, the sky darkens unnaturally, the rain intensifying into a torrent. Grant moves to the window, tension radiating from him. Something's wrong, he mutters. Then Sophia hears it, a distant howling cutting through the storm. Not one voice, but many, a chorus of primal hunger. What is that? She whispers. Grant's expression hardens. Wolves. They emerge at the tree line, first one, then three, then dozens. Dark shapes with gleaming red eyes move in eerie unison, encircling the cabin. Cold dread settles in Sophia's stomach. Is that your pack? Grant curses, slamming his fist against the windowsill. Yes, but they're not themselves. He turns to her, face grim. Edric got to them. How? Sophia's voice is barely audible. Edric's an alpha hybrid, Grant explains, checking the cabin's locks. Not just a shifter, not just a vampire, but both. He can command wolf at will. That's what made him so dangerous, why his pack had to stop him. Grant curses under his breath. I didn't think he'd have regained so much power already, he mutters, face grim. The wolves draw closer, red eyes fixed on the cabin, teeth bared in silent snarls. What does he want? Sophia asks, though she already knows the answer. To kill us, Grant says grimly, and to finish drinking her blood. He nods toward Lucy's still form. Sophia's knees threaten to buckle. What do we do? Grant's expression shifts, resolve settling over his features. I'm going to try to fight them off, create a distraction. He grabs her shoulders, his grip painfully tight. When I do, you run for the car. Get as far from here as you can. What about Lucy? Sophia protests. I can't just leave her. If you can wake her, take her with you, Grant says. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't have to. Before Sophia can argue further, Grant is moving toward the door, his body already changing, limbs elongating, face distorting in a way that makes her stomach turn. Stay inside until I draw them away, he orders, voice deepening to a growl. Then he's gone, charging into the storm. Sophia rushes to the window. Outside, chaos erupts. Grant, now a massive brown wolf, tears into the pack, jaws snapping, claws slashing. The air fills with snarls and yelps, the sounds of combat merging with the rain's roar. Lucy! Sophia runs to her friend, shaking her desperately. Lucy, please wake up. Lucy remains unresponsive, the pendant glowing faintly against her skin. Sophia curses, mind racing. She could carry Lucy, maybe, but not while fighting off wolves. Could she barricade them inside, wait for Grant to return? A bone-chilling howl cuts through her thoughts, different from the others, deeper, powerful enough to vibrate the cabin's walls. Sophia peers out the window again. A new shape emerges from the trees, a wolf of impossible size, black as midnight, eyes blazing red like twin infernos. The fighting pauses as all eyes turn to the newcomer, Edric. Sophia stumbles back from the window, frantically searching for a weapon, anything to defend herself. She grabs a heavy iron poker from beside the fireplace, its weight almost too much for her trembling hands. "Please," she whispers to no one in particular. "Please." The sound of Grant's pained yelp shatters the night, followed by triumphant howls. Sophia backs against the wall, poker raised. A hand lands on her shoulder. Sophia screams, spinning around with the poker raised, and freezes. Lucy stands there, eyes open wide, more alert than she's been in days. "He's here," she whispers, a smile spreading across her face that chills Sophia to her core. Lucy's heart pounds as she nears the door. Each step feels like both agony and salvation. The pendant burns hot against her skin, pulsing with energy as Edric draws near. "What are you doing?" Sophia grabs her arm, fear widening her eyes. "You can't go out there." "I have to," Lucy whispers, her voice steadier than it has been in days. "He needs me." "He'll kill you," Sophia says, clutching her tighter. "Grant told us everything. He's a vampire, Lucy, a vampire and a shifter. He was a dangerous, power-hungry villain who used dark magic, and apparently all of that is real." Lucy faces her, hands trembling as she rests them on Sophia's shoulders. "I know what he is," she says softly. "I know he's dangerous, but he won't harm me, and if I tell him not to harm anyone else, he won't." Tears well in Sophia's eyes. "He's been using you, Lucy, taking your blood. That's why you're like this." "No," Lucy shakes her head, conviction flooding her. "He hasn't taken my blood, not yet. That's why I'm weak, because he's been fighting it, waiting until he's strong enough to control himself, strong enough not to lose himself in me." She breathes deeply. "Edric is my mate. We share a bond that transcends death itself. He's been alive as a vampire for centuries, waiting just to find me again." "And what if we don't let him have you?" Sophia's voice cracks. "Will he harm us then?" Lucy's face falters, fear surfacing. "That's why you have to help me get to him before he hurts anyone to get to me." "Look at yourself," Sophia cries. "You can barely stand." "It's being away from him that's harming me." Sophia shakes her head, tears spilling freely. "I know you're always trying to protect me," Lucy says gently, "but now I need you to trust me so that I can protect you." A long silence stretches between them. Then Sophia nods slowly, reluctantly. "If you're wrong about this, I'm not." She slips an arm around Lucy's waist. Together, they move to the door. Each step is a war Lucy wages against her failing body, but her eyes burn with resolve. They step into the storm. Wolves clash in the clearing, flashing teeth and snarling bodies. Blood muddies the rain-soaked ground. Grant, in his wolf form, is outnumbered, fighting desperately, but Lucy sees none of it. Her gaze is drawn to the massive black wolf at the edge of the chaos. Red eyes fix on hers. "Edric." The name tears from her throat, half sob, half plea. The great wolf lurches forward, every step steeped in effort. Around them, the battle slows, the air thickening as something ancient stirs. He reaches her, his form begins to shift, fur receding, bones reshaping, until a man kneels before her, drenched in mud and rain. But this is no dream. His skin is deathly pale, dark veins like cracks across marble. His eyes burn red, fangs gleam between parted lips. Sophia gasps and leaps in front of Lucy. "No," Lucy says weakly, clutching Sophia's shoulder. "Don't." Edric rises, his gaze locked on Lucy. Even in his monstrous state, his eyes hold reverence, worship, desperation. "I will not harm Lucy," he says, voice raw and ragged. "But she needs me. Our bond must be completed, or she will die." "He's right," Lucy whispers. "This is why I've been fading. We're incomplete." "Lucy, please," Sophia begs, tears streaming down her face. "Trust me." A beat passes, a lifetime of tension in a single breath. Sophia steps aside. Edric moves like a shadow, sweeping Lucy into his arms before she can blink. She clings to him, every nerve alight at his touch. Her breath hitches, her pulse racing beneath trembling skin. Inside the cabin, the storm fades behind them. He carries her to the bed, placing her down as though she's something fragile and precious. Candlelight dances across his face, etched with longing and restraint. "I'm sorry," he whispers, brushing rain from her cheek. "I've taken too long. I should have found you sooner." Her fingers trace the dark veins across his skin. "I would have waited centuries for you, too." He trembles, his control fraying. "You're dying," he says, voice shaking. "The bond, it's incomplete. It's draining you." "I must claim you, but—" He breaks off, anguish twisting his features. "I fear I won't be able to stop." She bares her throat, pulse fluttering. "I trust you. Take what you need." Edric recoils, pained. "Lucy, I know you need it," she says, sitting up, pressing her hand to his chest. "And I know you'll stop." "A bite from a shifter would kill a human," he warns. "You're human now, my love. A claiming mark would destroy you." "But you're not just a shifter anymore, are you?" "No." The word is a vow, heavy and haunted. "I chose this to keep my promise. I swore I'd return. And when I did," his voice cracks, "you were gone." Pain stabs through her chest. Memories rise like fog. The cliff, the fall, the fracture of their bond. "Because I believed you were dead," she whispers. "I felt our connection break." He nods once, and she sees everything. Centuries of heartbreak, of waiting and silence. Her hand slips behind his neck, pulling him down. "We can be together now." His lips graze her throat. Her body arches. He shudders. And then, with a sound torn from his soul, Edric sinks his fangs into her skin. She gasps, sharp, electric. Then it overtakes her. Pain, then heat, liquid and deep, spreading through her limbs like wildfire. Her back arches, mouth parting in a breathless moan. Pleasure blooms, hot and insistent, sinking into her belly and bursting outward in waves. Her hands twist in his hair, anchoring him, holding him to her. The bond doesn't just snap into place. It erupts like a dam breaking. She feels it pour into her, through her. The emptiness that haunted her for lifetimes fills cell by cell, heartbeat by heartbeat. Edric drinks like a man starved but never brutal, his hands cradling her, fingers trembling with the effort to keep from losing control. Then, with a tortured groan, he tears himself away. Blood stains his lips, his chest heaving as his eyes shift, the red fading into a searing blue, so sharp and alive it steals her breath once more. The darkness in his skin recedes, the veins vanishing, leaving him looking restored yet otherworldly beautiful. "Now you," he rasps, his voice thick with emotion, "claim me as I've claimed you." He tilts his head, exposing his throat in total surrender. "Bite with intent," he says. "Bite knowing I am yours as you are mine." Lucy rises onto her knees, cupping his face. Her lips tremble as she leans in, pressing a kiss to the spot just below his jaw. His pulse pounds beneath her mouth. She opens her teeth and bites, not hard, but enough to draw a single drop. It's sweet and dark, electric, like tasting thunder, like drinking the night sky. The bond flares, no longer threads, but a roaring force that roots deep into her soul, winding around her bones. Edric gasps, his body jerking against hers as her need slams into him through the bond. She feels him, centuries of longing, silence, dreams that always ended before they began, nights spent whispering her name into the wind. And he feels her surrender, her trust, her burning need to be his. He grabs her face with both hands, kissing her like he could live off her lips alone. It's messy, full of teeth and heat and helpless sound. "I've waited so long," he murmurs into her mouth, his voice rough and reverent. His hands skim her sides, slow and possessive. "Dreamed of this moment." "Show me," she whispers, pressing herself closer. He growls, low and unmistakably wolf-like, before kissing her again, rougher this time, more urgent. Their clothes fall away under frantic hands. His touch roams over her skin, claiming, worshipping. When he lowers her onto the bed, kissing his way down her body, it's not just passion, it's a promise carved into flesh. Their bodies move together with, "You're free now," she whispers. We both are. Their simple life in the cabin is not without its challenges, as Edric struggles daily with the bewildering aspects of the modern world: electricity, telephones, television, cars, all guided by Lucy through the mundane miracles of the 1990s. Yet, more significantly, Edric carries the weight of centuries on his shoulders. Memories of what he once was and what he did resurface at unexpected moments. "I remembered something new last night," Lucy says, changing the subject. Fragments of Adora's life return to her in vivid snapshots, both alien and intimately familiar, about the war council just before the final battle against Ulrich. Edric tenses beside her. "Lucy, we don't have to," he starts. "Adrian was there," she continues gently. "He stood beside you, but he looked hollow." The name hangs heavy between them, laden with unspoken guilt. Adrian, the friend, the confidant, the magician who granted Edric's desperate wish at a price neither fully understood. "I need to know, Edric," Lucy says, turning to face him. "All of it. About Adrian, about the wish, about what happened when you knew you were dying." Edric closes his eyes briefly, pain etching lines around his mouth. "I was dying," he begins, his voice low and rough. "Ulrich's forces ambushed us. I'd been so certain of victory, so arrogant. I lay there, bleeding out in some God-forsaken forest, knowing I would never see you again." His grip tightens on her hand. "I'd promised to return to you always, and I was breaking that promise." Lucy stays silent, giving him space to continue. "So I called for Adrian. He came. He always came when I called, even then, even after what I'd done to him." Edric's voice cracks slightly. "I asked him to make sure I couldn't die until I reunited with you." "The dark magician from your past," Lucy says softly. "It was Adrian all along." Edric nods. "Before he wielded dark magic, he was my closest friend, my supporter, my ally in rising against Ulrich. The previous Alpha King, Lucy supplies. The one who was engaged to Adora. To me. Yes, Edric's expression hardens. But I was the one who made Adrian become a dark magician. I forced him into a pact with a demon to win against Ulrich, to become Alpha King myself. His voice drops to a whisper. For your sake, I told myself everything was for you. What did you do? I threatened him, Edric admits, the words seemingly causing him physical pain. Him and his family. I was desperate to save you from Ulrich, and I didn't listen to Adrian's protests about the price of such magic. Lucy's heart contracts painfully, conflicting emotions warring within her, horror at Edric's actions, yet compassion for his desperation. I didn't understand what it would mean, Edric continues. Adrian gained power, yes, but only in the form of wish-granting, and always for a terrible price. He can grant one wish per person, but always in exchange for what they value most. When you wished to live until we could reunite, Lucy begins, what I valued most was taken. Edric's voice cracks. Your knowledge of my existence, our bond severed, and you felt me die. I didn't know. I thought it would be something tangible, my kingdom, my power. But it was you. It was always you. Tears stream down Lucy's cheeks as the weight of it all sinks in. Adora's grief, Edric's centuries of anguish, all born from a desperate wish fueled by love and fear. When I realized what had happened, when I learned you'd... Edric can't finish the sentence. Even now, centuries later, he cannot speak of Adora's suicide. I tried to end it all, to follow you, but the wish bound me to that half-life. Not until we reunited could I truly live or die. So I reincarnated, Lucy says, piecing it together, because you were still alive. Edric nods. Now that we've reunited, the wish is fulfilled. I'm mortal again. He flexes his hand, still marveling at the absence of supernatural strength. The price has been paid. What happened to Adrian, Lucy asks, after your wish? I don't know, Edric admits. My people eventually rebelled against me, imprisoning me in the castle. I never saw Adrian again. They sit in silence for a long moment, watching the sun rise higher above the mountains. I had time to think in that tomb, Edric finally says. Centuries to realize how wrong I'd been, how my fear of losing you made me power-hungry, paranoid. I became the very monster I fought against. Lucy cups his face in her palms, forcing him to meet her gaze. You've paid for those mistakes, Edric, with centuries of suffering. It doesn't erase what I did, he says. No, Lucy agrees softly. It doesn't erase it, but it doesn't erase this either. She places his hand over her heart. Edric smiles bitterly. How can you still love me, knowing what I am, what I've done? Because I see all of you, Lucy replies simply, the darkness and the light. The man who would burn the world to save me, and the man who now fears his own shadow, terrified of disappointing me. Later that evening, Sophia arrives for her weekly visit, bringing groceries and news from town. Grant accompanies her, a rare appearance that immediately puts Edric on edge, though he masks it with careful politeness. The pack is moving on, Grant announces without preamble, standing stiffly in the kitchen doorway. We've guarded this place long enough. It's time we forge our own path. Edric studies him, recognition flickering in his eyes. You have his chin, he says quietly. My grandson's, the one who led the rebellion against me. Grant's jaw tightens, but he nods. And his responsibility, which you fulfilled, Edric acknowledges. I am grateful. The words come at a cost. Lucy knows centuries of hatred don't vanish overnight, but it's a start. After Grant and Sophia leave, Edric finds Lucy at the kitchen table, surrounded by job listings from the local newspaper. She speaks without looking up, lost in thought about Adrian. Edric freezes, weariness settling over him. "What about him?" he asks. Lucy meets his gaze, her eyes steady. "You said the wish was conditional, that you couldn't die until we reunited. That means Adrian's magic is still at work in some way. And if it's still working, he must still be alive." Realization dawns on Edric's face as Lucy nods. "We should find him." Edric's expression darkens. "Lucy, if Adrian still lives, he would have every reason to hate me, to want me destroyed." "Or perhaps he's had centuries to find his own healing," Lucy counters gently. "You're not the only one who's had time to reflect on the past." Edric begins pacing, conflict evident in every movement. "What would I even say to him? Sorry I forced you into a pact with a demon that corrupted your soul?" "You'd say exactly that," Lucy replies simply. "And then you'd listen to whatever he has to say in return, whether it's forgiveness or condemnation." Edric stops pacing, turning to face her with raw vulnerability in his eyes. "Why is this so important to you?" "Because it's important to you," Lucy says, rising to join him. "Because every time you say his name, I feel your guilt through our bond. And because," she takes his hands in hers, "healing isn't just about us, Edric. It's about making amends where we can." Tears glisten in Edric's eyes, a sight that still startles Lucy. This fierce warrior, this former king, reduced to tears by simple kindness. "I don't deserve you," he whispers. "Maybe not," Lucy agrees with a small smile, "but you have me anyway, forever." The following morning, they stand beside Lucy's battered old car, luggage packed in the trunk. Edric takes a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. It won't be easy finding him, facing him. "Nothing worthwhile ever is," Lucy replies, squeezing his hand. As they drive away down the gravel road, Lucy glances in the rearview mirror at the distant silhouette of Black Crest Castle growing smaller behind them. She feels a weight lift from both their shoulders. The past doesn't disappear. It never will. The darkness Edric carries, the memories that haunt his sleep, the guilt that sometimes threatens to consume him, these remain. But so does she. So does their love. And perhaps, in the end, that's the most powerful magic of all. Not a dark wish that defies death, but two souls that find each other again and again across the vastness of time itself. For my returning listeners, I have some exciting news. As some of you already know, I'm working on releasing my stories in both digital and print book formats by the end of the year. Each edition will include exclusive bonus content. For example, this story hints at how Adrian became a magician, kept light to ensure new listeners could follow along without confusion. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like or a comment. It truly helps me a lot. Thank you so much for watching. For those eager to learn more, the book version will delve deeper into his past. It will reveal what truly transpired between him and Edric and provide a fuller picture of how events unfolded. If you're interested in hearing bonus content like this on the channel, let me know. I'd be happy to share more if there's interest.